Weevils! Weevils, please! I beg all of you playing along, please. I beg. I'm on my hands and knees. I'm fighting for my life out here. Please, just update the configs. Pack broken. I'm not getting any raiders. You're broken. What do you think peaceful means? The amount of people playing on Barry the Peaceful Builder and complaining about not getting any raiders is too damn high. Read! Fellow adherents of the wise and all-knowing rocks, we are here today to convene the Great Council of the Comment section. Our colony, despite all the horrible things that are happening yesterday, is thriving. Lots of new recruits, lots of new buildings, lots of new research, and more importantly, some really key players in the colony now. I feel like it's fair to say we've reached the point where we're actually a tribe now, not just a family, but a group of diverse people all with different skills and goals and things they want to do. Of course, I'm including the all-knowing rocks in there. But even though not all of them are blood-related now, what binds them all together? Of course, the ideology. And this is where we bring in the Great Council of the Comment section, because I asked at the end of yesterday's episode, what do you think? What should we go for? What should we do? Float some ideas of my own, of course, animal personhood, given that animals have been so key all along. The goose-born disaster, of course, the all-knowing rocks, the weevils that came to help us. We've got literal animal people. But of course, in the not-so-positive, we had a person fall from the sky yesterday who we rescued, because we're quite a kind colony. And then in return, they infected 3 of our people. Almost killed Chuck, almost killed Disaster multiple times. It's a wonder she's still alive. And of course, we had a group of raiders who turned up yesterday and permanently disabled Gert, chopped their leg clean off. I floated the idea of maybe adding the xenophobia meme or something like that, because clearly they've had a bad experience with it, but there were some really good counter-arguments. It was the elves that gave Ungus his very pointy spear. The Fae visited quite early on and gave us a bunch of gifts, and we've had that with quite a few caravans, so maybe that wouldn't make too much sense, but what I want to do before we even start to look at beginning the ideology, let's have a Jubilee of Family. Our first ever celebration, of course, is outdoors. We don't have a light ball and speaks. We went for ages. Just a little bit of a dance. Everybody gets to know one another. Just kind of hanging out in the field and really bringing us all together. Look at this. It's a really good opportunity for a lot of social interaction. You know, lots of people making friends, lots of people being happy with one another. Speaking of which, how are we all doing? So, right now, the only one who isn't really liked is Ignat, but the reason for that, there you go. Loopy was previously our enemy. I don't trust him. So maybe that's how we adjust the ideology. Maybe we're weary of newcomers, but of course, when they prove themselves, or if we've got respect for them, like the Fae, like the elves, maybe we're fine with them. Ooh, and with that, we're up to 10 out of 12 in our ideology. I don't think we can do a huge amount with that, but we can definitely do our first reformation and start working towards the second one, right? So I do think we go for animal personhood. I think it suits us perfectly, especially given the rocks. So we keep collectivist, we keep animal personhood. That's using 9 out of 12 of our points. So in terms of precepts, that will set it so things like slaughtering animals is prohibitive, killing innocent animals is abhorrent, which is fine, because actually we haven't been eating any meat at all. Fishing would be considered forbidden with that, which we have done a little bit of, but honestly, we can skip over it. It's not a big deal. This is a change to our society, so I'm happy to do it. Now, there was a great suggestion that things like insect jelly, insect meat, and what was the other one? Fungus, that's right, should just be set to neutral. Oh, we haven't got quite enough points for it, so maybe we forget about insect jelly in that case. We set that to be neutral because we've been ranching insects from day one, so I think that makes some sense. Oh, and we can also do a Sky Lantern Festival. Can we edit that to say any time? Otherwise, I certainly will forget. Nearby Faction Goodwill is kind of a fun one, and it does open us to some alliances, stuff like that. Maybe we can recruit some people from their colonies. I think we'll get rid of some of these because this doesn't make much sense. These are all randomly generated, of course. I think we don't worry about the relic. We can always add another one later on. For the weapon pair, I'd love to go Neolithic Ultratech. Does that count as a point? Oh, no, that's totally fine. Oh, because we removed a bunch of stuff. Oh, that could be interesting. We could either say farm animals wander in, which kind of ties to animal personhood, or maybe we just say random recruit. That's cool. Animal specialist, I'm going to call it rock speaker. And there it is. Think strong. 7 points to reform it again, and obviously way more points if we actually want to make a big change. So we do have to be very, very careful now that we are not eating any meat, to the extent that I might actually go into our food restrictions and take it all away. Allow food with appetizing meat, that is, right? So if we just take that completely off the menu, we're now totally vegetarian. And I think that's okay. Now, what I know said it in yesterday's episode is the cooking research that I skipped over actually allows, there you go, fine meals. And vegetarian fine meal too. So I think let's do it. Let's throw it in there. Ooh, and don't forget, very good reason for doing this. We killed a turtle. Yes, it was in self-defense, but when that happened, our weevils were hit by a lightning bolt. This could be a real big wake-up call for Ungus and the crew. Let's get rid of all the fish traps. No more harming animals. I know we're allowed to fight back against like man-hunting stuff like that Tortoise was, but Ungus doesn't know any difference. Ungus, that's a lovely hat. Where did you get that from? Ooh, and very appropriate for animal personhood, we've got ourselves the rotfish stench, who I presume everybody's again going to distrust for a little while. And believe it or not, it's so strange, whenever anyone joins the colony, it's almost like they get a new name. Kinthelu. You know, because Ungus doesn't speak rotfish. Obviously. Okay, that's interesting. So with you, we've got a new warden. Actually, what were you good at again, Kinthelu? Let's have a look here. Very good at melee, or good at melee compared to everyone else, of course. Good at social, good at intellectual. Ooh. I think we're getting to the size of the colony now where we probably have to consider having some sort of like central hall. Maybe with a cooking building attached to it. I do like the separate, kind of distant houses, so I'll throw another one over here. Oh my god, Chuck's in labor again! For God's sake, Chuck. Where am I supposed to put all these people? This is growing a little bit too fast. Chuck, go lie down. Go lie down. Mother, doctor, spectators, you can invite Disaster and Gert. I think that's an important life lesson when you're tribal. Oh, we're up to the progress bar part of the Pergonancy. Here we go. Boom. Baby Bungus, welcome. Another daughter for Ungus and Chuck. Baby Bungus. Again, I'm gonna wait until you do something impressive before I name you. It sounds like a thinly veiled threat. Like, do something useful in this colony, damn it. Oh, tribal. Roxwall tribal crib. Oh my god, we've come so far, but we don't have the resources to build it. What else we got? Haycloth. Ogren skin? I'm not entirely sure where you'd have got that from. I'm just going to have to stick with a regular, boring wooden crib, I'm afraid. Put baby Bungus somewhere safe. That might be the first child ever to be put in a crib. We've come so far as a society. No longer will babies be on the floor. Holly Bungus? Honestly, I'm looking for something silly sounding. Kara Bungus. Kara Bungus is pretty good. I will Kit Bungus. That's great. I couldn't beat that. Your nickname, temporarily, and again, we'll change it when you do something impressive. Inigo Bungus. How can I not? Before we do anything, though, we're going to use 600 bricks, which, to be fair, is quite a lot at this point in time, to throw down a couple of research boosting tables. After that, maybe we build like a grand hall. The Grand Bungus Hall, where everybody can gather, everybody can eat, instead of coming into their house to get meals. I imagine Ungus is probably getting a little bit pissed off by that. Oh god, that could be more dangerous than any raids we've had so far. Inigo, Gert, and Ungus have all been hit with malaria. Now, we did, to be fair, do a little bit of healthcare research. Probably not, I will admit, enough to be prepared for this, but this is a good excuse to do more in the future, right? Wow, that's really it, huh? Chuck, my friend, you have some real work cut out for you here. What is it? Show me. 70% on Ungus. I'll take it, Chuck. I'm sorry. There's no time to feed the baby. I'm going to have to make sure everybody's on the super highest bed rest. That includes you, Ungus. No. Stop. You are not doctor anymore. Congratulations. You're relieved. Hey, Chuck, I'll be relieved if you actually tend your children from their horrible diseases. To be fair, though, it's the first time we've ever dealt with a proper repeated persistent disease like this. And then the other is Inigo. Okay, you should be fine then. Gert and Inigo and Ungus. So it only hit the Bungus family. Clearly there's just malaria kicking around this house. You should be fine though. Makes it super easy to tend. Ooh, that's a bit rough. It is catching it up though, look. Holy shit, it is catching it up. We need to get the 70% 10 quality like that again if we're going to stand a chance. I think this definitely would give us some justification for carrying on with herbalism. Now, I haven't actually built any sort of herbalism stuff yet, have I? Even though our people have been on the tail end of a lot of dangerous stuff, like, you know, a little bit of malaria, a little bit of a man-hunting tortoise, enormous space worms erupting from their chest. I've got a new idea. Why don't we build that kind of central hall I was talking about? Maybe we build the Ungus family a new house altogether, like at the top here. So let's stick with log walls for the time being. So we'll build, we'll make it slightly larger than usual, because obviously they've got quite a big family. Seems like a better natural progression too, rather than just being like, okay, we need a kitchen, a dining room, food storage. You know how you do regular Rimworld buildings? It just doesn't seem very natural. So I want in the Bungus Dynasty house the stuff that they care about. And that's something I'm going to try and do with all the houses in this game, right? So we've given Bonax a house directly connected to the crafting room, because that's what Bonax, did I call you? Sorry, Boozax. Boozax is directly connected to the crafting room. That makes sense. And then Chuck is interested in herbalism. Has always had that passion for doctoring. What happened to my font? Oh, that's cursed. I don't like that. And then Ungus has done a lot of research alongside Chuck. So fitting all that in their main room might make sense. Then some bedrooms off of that. Hey, Ungus, how's the dying going? You're actually totally fine. You're totally fine. Where's Gert? Gert. Gert, my friend, what part of friggin' bed rest did you not understand? You've got horrible malaria, which you're barely staying ahead of. Lie down, you friggin' idiot, and you'll be fine. Don't move. Don't make me set you an area. They understand the concept of illnesses and disease and damage and using medicine. We've been through a lot. Mainly a lot of space worms. There's no excuse, quote-unquote, gifted, Gert. You got a passion for medical. What's wrong with you? I think especially during the first few early eras, a big melting pot of all this different stuff and influencing Ungus, given that he's kind of the sole guiding force here right now, would make a lot of sense. Then when you go kind of medieval industrial, that's when things get a bit more locked down and we get kind of stuck in our ways. And that is, Your Honor, why I'm not going for any weeb research. Thank you. Not that there's anything wrong with it, of course. Not that there's anything wrong with it at all. It's just right now, we got to stay nice and fluid. Loosey-goosey. And speaking of which, herbalism. As soon as Ungus is okay, we can put that expansion on and actually finish some upgrades. Ooh, elixirs. Hello. Come inciting lucidity and soothing. What do they do? Global learning factor up by 12%. Lower psych sensitivity doesn't really matter. Research speed, consciousness, pain, tiredness. I wonder if, because these are, yeah, they do count as drugs, you could put those on a schedule and you could have them wake up, chug an elixir of lucidity or whatever and do a little research, which isn't a play style I normally go with, I will admit. Ooh, or we start brewing alcohol. Now, as far as research goes, I'm trying to pick the stuff that makes sense in context. I mean, alcohol is just, it's inevitable, right? You leave some, a jar of fruit outside, it goes moldy, some idiot thinks, hey, I'll probably drink this, that idiot being Ungus Bungus. So next thing you know, you've got yourself a delicious afternoon. Done. I think we're gonna go with that. That one's super easy for me to justify, Gert. I'm going to kill you myself. Lie down. I know it's on a medical bed, okay? I'll flip it to a medical bed, and let's just get you to, please, rest until healed. For God's sake. I'm not so bothered about Ungus Bungus, because Ungus Bungus is all good. How's Inigo doing? Hello, my friend. You're also pretty much finished there. It's just bloody Gert. Gert, why do you resist these good things? Are you just so eager to learn? You just don't want to be contained? I can appreciate that. I appreciate your hard work ethic. And look at that. He's good. Back up on his feet. Totally unimpeded. This is a great lesson. This was a great lesson to learn. I'm glad it was with an easier disease. If it had been mechanites or something like that, Ungus would have just been screaming in agony, not understanding what the hell was going on. Oh, it's so obvious what Gert can do, though, right? Passion for medical, decent learning skill in that, and obviously going to improve even further. But you've had your leg ripped off all those many moons ago. Maybe Gert could be the pioneer of not bionics, of course, but prosthetics, very early prosthetics in the colony. And sure, it's kind of tribal era, and cavemen didn't really sport many prosthetics, but that I think would be kind of cool. You'd be very gifted, Gert, if you're able to pull that off this early on. Ooh! Speaking of which, hello, Gert. You're finally a quote-unquote adult at the age of 13. We can choose intellectual, medical, plants, construction, shooting, or social. Intellectual, medical, obviously perfect. I kind of vibe with social. That could work pretty well. Yeah, I think we'll go social. Then we can go rowdy, vulgar, tidy, charismatic, farsighted, or inefficient. I think I'll skip inefficient, thank you. Farsighted isn't really super appropriate. Charismatic, that could help with the social that I've just chosen. Whoa, and it's also really good. Animal product price improvement plus 5%. Oh, that's specific. Tidy could also be really good too. Clinics be multiplied, especially if you're a doctor. Oh shit, it all ties together. Though I think charismatic again is much better in this situation. Tidy kind of ties it all in. I like that, Gert. Brewing, there it is. Perfect. Maybe that's something that Gert could probably focus on that's a bit more realistic. Tree sowing, leather tanning, fake craftables, trapping. Man, I feel like we are kind of stuck in this kind of all this similar research all the time. We're not really getting much different. Oh, but there is that though. A better, more upgraded dirty hole. Granary for storing food, and look at what that leads to. Complex furniture, complex clothing, drug production. That one's kind of huge. I feel like we should probably get smithing before. That seems a bit more basic. I think smithing would be a bit easier to justify, especially when Boozax could just be like, yeah, moron bungus. This is how you make an even sharper stick. I saw it. I saw laser swords on the list, okay? It's the same story. We haven't got a machining table. We obviously can't craft the laser sword. You know, we could go into advanced primitive intelligence, right? But that unlocks so much stuff. I feel like just getting all of this other stuff done first would make more sense. Medicinal herbs. Perfect. We are absolutely blasting through the research today. Not that I'm complaining at all. This is fine. A bit more herbalism. Hey, if today we go all in on the medical stuff, I'm all right with that. I think it's suitable for gifted Gert. Now, here's another thing I was thinking. We need a lot of hay grass because it's kind of our only repeatable crop. Now, sure, we can cut down regular grass for hay, but that seems like a massive pain in the ass. I'm going to get rid of some of the berries, and, oh, you know what? Keep the berries. Let's throw down a whole new growing zone instead. Let's throw it down near the crafting area. How's this for a story element, okay? They throw down the hay grass because they're using it to craft all their clothes and whatever else, okay? Just happen to put it on the fertile soil. Boom. Big brain moment. They learn how fertile soil works. What is that? Basic components in a cargo pod. Oh, shit. Miscellaneous gears, wheels, nails necessary for assembling complex contraptions. Oh my god, this could be all the excuse we need to... Did I see trebuchet in there? Oh... I don't think I've ever built one of those before. That's so cool. Yeah, no, this is every excuse we need to start moving towards medieval, right? Even though I feel like we're kind of early tribal still. When you got big brain Boozax over here, it's kind of hard to... Brilliant. Thank you for that. Between Boozax and Gert, it's kind of hard not to fly along all the innovation. I mean, Chuck and Ungus are obviously no slouches either. Gert obtained the teetotaler trait. I wonder if that's where... Yeah, there you go. Finally spent the time fighting the malaria. That means it's totally disappeared now. We need to put that leg back, my friend. Teetotaler, gifted, skilled medic, and tidy. I feel like I should probably swap you away from animals just straight into medical then. You seem quite dedicated. Also, would it kill us to get some bloody clothes in this colony? Ungus only wear clothes, because Ungus in charge. Everyone else is literally butt naked. Boozax, what's going on in here? Even with the rocks helping out. I guess I'll just have them cut loads of grass and then we can turn that into some clothing. What a weird time. Honestly, let's just keep going. I'm kind of enjoying hitting this research hard, right? Yesterday, we've reorganized. We got the ideology going. We've got our recruits, and we've clearly got some big brain people here, so let's just send it. Primitive storage, amazing. Finally, we can get rid of the dirty holes. Look, I love a dirty hole as much as the next person, but they're not very convenient for keeping stuff in. Oh, look at that. The new house bungus is ready to go. I'm just going to transplant all the stuff over, and like I said, we'll start converting this into a hall for everyone to share. I like the idea of retrofitting this as kind of the original colony building into a shared area. Like a big old community center or something like that. Oh my god. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. New lovers. I mean, the only two people who are kind of age appropriate in the colony are Disaster and Boozax. Because I think everyone else is kind of old by comparison. Boozax and Disaster. Oh, would you look at that. Although it won't last. Oh, well, that's pessimistic. This blissful moment I spent with you will be forever in my dreams. Oh. I mean, to be fair, it's true, it won't last. They're not immortal. In fact, quite the opposite. They've got very, very small lifespans. Oh, that's kind of cool, though. I'm right with that. Disaster bungus, there you go. Lover, chit-chat, a little bit of rapport. Disaster and I had a nice chat. It feels like we can talk nicely about anything. And now with primitive storage, I think it's time we tidy this place up a bit, because this is quite the mess. I'm sorry to disappoint all the furries watching, but friendship ended with dirty hole. I don't mean anything by that. We're still good friends. We're all still good friends here. To be fair, it's kind of good for what will be the community center. I've already taken the wall out here because it does keep it cool. It's 3 degrees C, so honestly, I might just leave it. Okay, so Disaster doesn't need a bed. Instead, you can share with your lovely stone-born boyfriend. Where are you, Boozax? You do live here, right? Who are you again? Freaking trees! I can't see what anything is. Hey, get rid of this tree. Ah, much better. Thank you. Right, Ungus, you have to come build your daughter and her lovely good friend, best friend, a nice double bed. Well, the last generation's playthrough was a total inbreeding disaster, so I will take whatever I can get at this point. Oh my god, we have an actual cooking table. My god, we don't have any adobe bricks, or at least we don't have enough for like that and everything else I've got planned, but I suppose a cooking table is a bit more useful. You're already a child. Tiny little child, hello. It probably still is a much better idea to have them follow the parents around and learn things than just sit them at the desk all day. Until they get some passions, the desks kind of suck. There's another kid born with thrombo white hair. I just don't understand. Ungus. We've got to throw in some fine meals, huh? We've got so many bloody berries at this point, and it's such an easy mood boost. Especially given that right now we're effectively a full-on vegetarian colony, right? We might as well just get rid of leather tanning, just get it out of the way. We're never going to do it if we are... Oh my god. This is too many animals. I might have to start releasing some weevils. What do you mean marriage is on? Domdil Boozax, will you marry me? Oh my god. At some point in the coming days at Quadrants, they will have their marriage ceremony and invite all of the colonists. Oh, that's so nice. Disaster Gooseborn will change her name to Boozax. And there they are. And I hadn't even built them a bed yet because we haven't got enough frigging hay. What a time to be alive, huh? What is that? Holy shit, look at you. That is an enormous cat on fire. Angus, have you seen this? Oh, that dinosaur pack animal is also amazing. Look at that little fella. But look at that thing. Angus, give them everything. You mean that you will sell this to Angus? Angus will give you these worthless components in exchange for an enormous cat that's on fire. Of course he would. I mean, look at that thing. I would do that in real life, and I'm not a dumb caveman. You know, at least I certainly don't feel like a dumb caveman, given that there's only one person on the planet who seems to have this mod pack working. They craftables. Hey, speaking of which, it was just the next on the list. Wowee. Again, ranged weapons, we can't make those. We can't make those. Please stop commenting on it. I'm going to lose my mind. You have given Angus a great gift. We just traded a bunch of worthless bits of metal and wood for an enormous cat that's on fire. What that does mean, though, is we are going to need a person capable of keeping it tame. Now, what I have done is thrown down a few more desks just because there's not that much work to do right now, you know? I mean, what are we doing? We're just kind of researching. Tribal water crafting, actually phenomenal. Angus, piecing the puzzle together, maybe. He knows that things catch fire. He watched those weevils get hit by lightning. He knows maybe me put water in a big tank in case the cat lights stuff on fire. Fire bad. I mean, fire bad is a very, very early lesson to learn. I don't think I have to justify that by buying an enormous flaming cat. But we do have a bunch of spare learning benches, and I think that justifies me training somebody to handle animals. Has anybody got a passion in animal handling? Gert does. But Gert's been training in medical, and Gert's actually doing really well at medical. 8.7 already. I say already. Gert is 15. They were, what, born yesterday? Disaster, how you looking? Shit, maybe I should train up, like, Loopy? You know, I'm going to train up Loopy in mining by having them sit and, you know, think about mining. I really do like the plot twist that our miner is not the dwarf, the stoneborn, but is in fact the catboy. That's amazing. That means Booze, Axe, can, and, I mean, it has focused on the important stuff like getting everybody a pair of clothes. What the fuck are you doing with that rock? Chuck rock? You're Chuck Bungus now. Wait, can you actually use that as a... What's a melee weapon? Wait, what? You can just hit stuff with that. That's amazing. She can actually chuck rock. Holy crap, that's a good melee weapon too, eh? Shale chunk. I mean, it's 20 kilogram. Oh, it's not that good. It's just she hit a fence with it. It's a fence. Oh, maybe you shouldn't carry that around all day. Sorry, to go back to what I was saying. Boozax has actually made everybody some clothes now. That's frightening, isn't it? You're a cursed child. So if Disaster was the ignored child, again, you had space worms, you had to lock her up, and Gert is the gifted child, in you go, you're the... So fucking creepy. You're a weird kid. What are you doing? Sky dreaming. Ugh. Oh my god. The second generation. Oh, I suppose technically the third generation, right? Disaster, already Pergonant. My god, you two work fast. You only met 4 days ago. God damn, that does go hard, though. Angus, blessed by the many animals. Like, get off that, though, because that's probably... Oh, he seems fine. I feel like there's no dangerous side effects of riding on an enormous flaming cat. I did have to make him drop his favorite shale chunk, because it turns out the cat doesn't want an enormous heavy man riding around carrying rocks on its back. Ooh! I really want to test this out, but I feel like being indoors like that is probably a terrible idea. Well, today was all about using our big brain and expanding things out, both conceptually in terms of research, but also the base and also our families and everything else. I feel like I've nailed all of that, except for, much to my chagrin, build base. I love build base, and yet here I am having done nothing. Oh, to be fair, I was going to throw down some recreation, but there is no recreation. I think we could build a loot for a bit of recreation. I feel like Boozax, I mean, having him here is cheat codes, because he can teach the people how to do that, right? Soft fur conga. Oh, God, can I not build a drum because we haven't got any leather? We're never going to have leather because we've got animal personhood. Killing an animal for the purpose of turning him into a drum is unthinkable. Oh, the totems are cool. Oh, they are really cool. Tall artistic carving depicting the spiritual connection between primitive humans and their free-range desires in animal nature. That seems very reductive. Thank you. Let's slap one of those down there. We've got the insect totem, which of course we've got to put that down right there. And then the animal wisdom totem, I feel like would be perfect for just outside of the research room. Let's put it there. I understand that that's probably an area where we've got to avoid any unnatural buildings. So if we put it like, I say unnatural building, you know what I mean, right? I'm not saying unnatural in the sense it's like a giant upside down house that only speaks French. No, not that kind of unnatural. I think this one will probably complain because it's in the middle of the pen, but we'll just see what happens. I presume the recreation rate is correlated to how far it actually is in nature. I'd say this is pretty naturous, and that's not even a real word. Oh my God. Firstly, hold on, onyx deposit, amazing. You've named your dark insect totem Sun. Ongus never had a son. Is he talking like conceptually like the tribe is his son? Very confusing. The work bears an image of Ungus Bungus studying the secrets of tribal watercrafting with a look of gleeful fascination. He is covered in burns for some reason. Ungus is sweating. The scene takes place on the outskirts of a hamlet. Wow. Actually, it almost seems like it doesn't matter. Oh, I guess it's a meditation spot. Hey, where did that onyx land? Is that close enough? Oh, maybe they would have seen that. And you got to admit, they built a totem and suddenly onyx is falling from the sky. We're going to worship this, though. We're going to mine it up and do something with it. I feel like Boozax would take the lead on that. I feel like if we're saying animal personhood, why does the rocks not have a house? You absolute fool. You fool. You monstrous man. Animal personhood, and we're letting this rock sleep outdoors. Unbelievable behavior. Rocks, enjoy, my friend. This one is for you, the biggest and grandest of house. You know what, goddammit, animal personhood, release the weevils. Definitely not doing that because they're slowing down the game because we've got 30 of them. No, no, no. I don't believe any animal should be penned. Release them. Fungal weevils have been great friends. They kept us company through dark times. They chose to come and join us, and now we should give them the choice about whether or not they're prepared and ready to leave. Please don't eat all my berries. I've given you freedom, and this is how you repay me. Remove the gates. No longer will animals be penned, and we will turn this into a lovely community center. God, pack of what? Iridescent Vorpal bunnies, driven insane by the disease known as Scaria. Wow, you definitely would not miss those coming. Holy crap. Oh, they're lovely. They've been hunted for their precious fluffy tails. We would never look at what mankind has done. It's driven these poor sweet animals to madness. We would never harm animals in such a way. Anyway, we're going to beat them with a rock now. Jesus Christ. Oh, it's horrible to watch. Ooh, careful, Ungus. Actually, they pack a punch, don't they? Oh, Christ. Okay, oh, don't execute Gert. What the fuck is wrong with you? Just stab the bunny? Wow, they really are just destroying that thing with a rock. I see why you were called that, Chuck Rock. That's amazing. Maybe some better weapons wouldn't hurt, because this is a bit of a pathetic show. The best weapon we've got was a gift from Japan. How we doing? We all alright? We all alright? You lost a thumb to a bunny? That's horrible to imagine. Oh, Loopy has claws. Of course you got claws. Why are you using a rock, you friggin' idiot? Wow, what a recreation room, huh? But you know what? Ultimately, the goal for today was expand the colony, expand our big brain powers, and expand our skill set. And you know what? We've really done that. Between Gert and Boozax, I'm very, very optimistic for the future. And let's not forget Disaster, who is Perganent. 3rd generation, right round the corner. Oh, and look. Mushroom mastery. There have to be some mushrooms that we can just grow in daylight, right? And I feel like that'd be a nice homage to the fungal weevils that I've now let free. Yes, I get it. I see the Japanese stuff, okay? You don't need to make it enormous and try and get my attention. Wow, there are 2, eh? It's inevitable, isn't it? Much like Thanos. Oh my God, there's 3. Much like Thanos, we've got to do it eventually. I'm not saying that we can research and, of course, not lean into it. Same with leather tanning. So unless we get a good reason, I think we're just going to have to start researching it to tick it off, basically. Today hasn't been super action-packed, sure. But what we've achieved is more research than the previous 4 episodes combined. And I kind of like the way the base is trending, I will admit. I'm very excited to see that 3rd generation. I think Gert, sleeper hit, waiting to really pop off. 8.9 medical just from kind of passive study. Only 17, which in Rimworld terms, I mean, oh God, Ungus Bungus is already 42. Practically ancient, gonna die any moment. The colony is still young though, right? It's just there's been so much to do during these early eras that it's almost been going slower than a regular Rimworld playthrough. We're not exactly close to the end of medieval research by any stretch of the imagination, but tomorrow I really want to start pushing what we've actually got access to. Maybe consider throwing down a quarry, given that we've got someone pretty good at mining, someone who's clearly quite practiced to that. Something that, of course, Boozax will be very familiar with as well. We'll start throwing down a lot of these other tables, considering growing herbs and looking into the herbalism aspect of things, particularly now that we've got the space, and particularly now we've got somebody very good at it I'm not sure. We've done a lot of research and haven't really done anything with it yet, so I think tomorrow we'll expand out, start building specialized buildings. I want to incorporate the ideas from Egypt, where we have like a separate brewery, a separate apothecary, a separate school, all of that, and bring that into a generation style that evolves over time. I think that'd be quite cool, because then eventually your little herbalism quarters, how dare, over the course of, many, many generations, might just end up becoming that kind of bionics lab or that super soldier lab that we always end up having. That'd be kind of fun. Anyway, I'm happy with it. I'm having a lot of fun with this series. I hope that's coming across. It's very relaxing just to be able to jump in and, work on the characters, because it's something that doesn't really translate too well when you've got this really kind of crazy concept series, even though this has been a pretty ridiculous execution. It's good. It's a good time. I've missed Generations, and I feel like I really need to start doing it more, because it reminds me why I do, in fact, love Rimworld. Thank you all for joining me today. Hey, you know who else I love? That's right. It's you, executive producer patrons. I finally got the courage to admit it. Thank you for being here for me. I really owe you everything. Without you, I would be nothing. Thank you. That sounded horrendously sarcastic, but was of course partly true. Thank you to Tri-Quatrol, Pang Power, Evelyn X, Flight Gamer, Cooper, Sukakumba, Jose Asala, Erica, Good, Doggo, Shadow Shall Lions, Brandon Watoniak, Snowy, Bradzo90, White Fox God, Pokemon Backer, Grendeloffen, Sir Thomas Q, Hanyake, Peter Sarossi, Pump Action Shotty, Get Swifty, Trivy, H Sergeant Nero, Miranda the Mighty, Tulip, and Chris for their executive producer support today. Thank you. I don't actually love you. I'm sorry to tell you this. I'm just a voice in the machine. I'm not real. None of this is real life. There's a big wide world out there, and this is all just a distraction from that. Try and find a way to not need distractions is my advice. Thank you as well to Alex Wareham, Cool Hentai Meme Lord Dude, Red Noah, Samuel Pruitt, Koi, Coob, Leobuns, King of Outcastia, Dorathus, Merlin Kane, James, Ace of Hearts, Standards of Things, Zen Master, Sam Kears, Fedor, Dorian, Mr. Hildebrand, Decrepit, and Surge Devilez. See you all for a Rim time tomorrow.